Hello and welcome to the weekly Kashmir University Video Digest Quest. First, let's have a look at this week's highlights. Seminar on legal aid to marginalized Organised. Business School organizes seminar on economic empowerment. And English Department organizes a session on revisiting literary classics. Now the details of all these events with your host Nisar Dharma. The Faculty of Law, in collaboration with Department of Justice, Government of India, organized a seminar on legal aid to marginalized, efficacy and challenges. Dean and Head Faculty of Law, Professor Muhammad Ayub, presented the welcome address.
A society claiming to be governed by rule of law must in its legal system facilitate the legal care of the problems of the poor. In the existing system of justice, the worst complaint that a common man has against it is that its wheels can't be set in motion simply on the basis of actual facts reduced to a complaint, but it imposes additional burdens in the shape of fee to lawyers, fee to courts, and other fee.
Speaking on the occasion, retired Justice Bashir Ahmed Kirmani, who is also a member of State Accountability Commission, deliberated upon equality before laws and equal protection in the judiciary.
In a democracy, the basic stone of the entire concept, the fundamental concept, is equality. Equality not in any narrow sense, equality in the broadest sense possible, in all respects that you can think of, the physical equality, intellectual equality, economic equality, social equality, and equality in every sense of the word. And to assure this equality among the citizens, the subjects of the state, one of the sub-concepts that has been formulated is equality before law and equal protection of laws. Now, equality before law and equal protection of laws is not as beautiful on ground as it appears to be on the book, because equality before law and equal protection of the laws has to be invoked, and the agency where you can invoke it is the court of law.
Justice Kirmani said that it has become increasingly difficult for ordinary people to have access to the judiciary and get justice from there.
They generally say higher you go, the cooler it is. But in judicial parlance, in litigation sense, in litigative sense, higher you go, the hotter it is. Why? You can go to a municip's court and have your cause agitated or litigated upon by spending a few thousand rupees. The matter comes to High Court, spending becomes in tens of thousands. And the moment you reach to Supreme Court, it's in lakhs. The Supreme Court lawyer charges something from 1 lakh to 50 lakh rupees for one hearing. So that makes this approach to the courts, the equal protection of laws and equality before law, it makes it a monopoly of the moneyed people. Without fear of contradiction, perhaps we can say that justice, equality before law, invoking equality before law and equal protection of laws in the Supreme Court is an absolute monopoly of the millionaires. Ordinary people cannot.
Justice Muhammad Yaqub Mir highlighted the importance of providing legal aid to the marginalized section of society in accordance with the law of judiciary.
This constitutional provision enjoins to provide free legal aid so that no citizen is denied justice by the reason of economic or other disability. Article 14 and 22(1) also makes it obligatory for the state to ensure equality before law and a legal system which promotes justice on the basis of equal opportunity to all. Legal aid strives to ensure that constitutional pledge is full-fledged and fulfilled in its letter and spirit, and equal justice is made available to poor, downtrodden, and weaker sections of the society.
In his presidential address, the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Khurshid Iqbal Andrabi, said that there are things which the lawmakers need to correct.
The human brain is basically in defiance by default. it does not register any kind of diktat, any kind of supremacy extended by the other individual. One of my teachers appropriately articulated this once upon a time when I was a kid. He said that one individual always believes that he's better than the other. We always wondered it was not correct. He said that, I'll give you an example, and the example he quoted was that an individual, if you consider a group of 3 people, or a group of 2 people overlooking one individual opening a lock, and if he fails to open this lock in first or second attempt, the other person jumps onto him and tells him that I'll open the lock. And if the second person also fails to do this, the third person jumps onto him and tells him that I will open the lock. The bottom line is that regardless of how compliant you may appear, in the heart of hearts, or in the brain of brains, we believe that we're better than the other.
Professor Andrabi advised lawmakers to have such laws in place which are in tune with the people and their needs.
We were, in the first instance, excellently given excellent expression of what I am saying by the Quranic verses, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ قِبَلَ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. What the definition of what Niki is all about. And Allah says in Quran, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. If you believe, if it's wrong for you, it may not actually be wrong for you. وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَشَرٌّ لَكُمْ. And if you think this is excellent for me, it may not be excellent for you, it may actually be, bad for you. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Because Allah knows, you do not know. Now, if you were to tell your brain that you are not in a position to even to make a judgment as small as defining what is right and what is wrong, you will enter into a sense of modesty that is obedience. And then you would start appreciating the laws of nature are better than man-made laws. This is precisely what happens.
Later, speaking at a valedictory ceremony, Dean Academic Affairs, Professor Muhammad Ashraf Bani, delineated on how law enforcing agencies came into existence.
Whether it is secular agency or it is religious agency, both realize it that human society जो है इसमें 2 किस्म के, human society is not homogeneous. Society is broadly divided into 2 halves, the powerful and the weak. कश्मीरी में कहते हैं ये मिस नर तमके बेसिस लर, जिसके पास ज्यादा मैन पावर है वो दूसरों का खा सकता है उनके मकान तक. एक वक्त वो था, एक वक्त मनी भी है उसमें. अब फिजिकल पावर, मनी पावर, पॉलिटिकल पावर, दिस पावर, दैट पावर. तो ये लोग जो हैं वो लोग अपनी they not only protect their own interests but they encourage upon the rights of others. इसलिए उन कमजोरों को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए लॉ वजूद में आया.
The Vice Chancellor of Central University of Kashmir, Professor Mehrajuddin Mir, said that it seems that in today's time, it is the justice that is blind, not the law.
Once we say law is blind, thereby we mean there is equality before law and equal protection of laws. But so far as present practice is concerned, so far as present law in operation is concerned, we know it, justice is blind. It is not the law is blind, but in our actual practice, it is justice which is blind. If in the court of law, you can prove as a lawyer, black is white and white is black, then maybe you may be in a position to make your fame and name in your society. You may be in a position to defend the cases and you may become a successful lawyer. But that is time bound. That is to die its own death in a very short span of time. Justice is on sale at present. People by now have lost the faith so far as our judiciary is concerned.
Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Hussain proposed a vote of thanks. Assistant Professor Dr. Hina Basharat conducted proceedings of the function. The business school held a day-long seminar on economic empowerment through financial education. The seminar was organized in collaboration with the National Stock Exchange, Securities and Exchange Board of India, and Jammu and Kashmir Bank Limited. Director, the Business School, Professor S. Mufid Ahmed, welcomed the guests and presented inaugural remarks of the seminar.
We are overwhelmed with the presence of Honorable Dean Academic Affairs, Professor Muhammad Ashraf Wani. Sir, I once again express my deep gratitude towards your concern for quality teaching, quality research, and pursuit of academic excellence and contributions.
Senior Assistant Vice President of National Stock Exchange, Ms. Rana Usman, stressed on the importance of creating investor awareness on capital markets.
We've been going to various cities where we see that there are possibilities where people may not be aware of what really it is to be in the capital market, what are the important things that they need to look at, what are the cautions, the do's and don'ts. All of these things are initiatives which we have taken, and we are going around in various cities to spread that financial awareness. When we know about finance, we need to also know how to apply it. The application over here becomes very important. So the initiative by the exchange, by the regulators, is to create that kind of awareness and to give you the foundation for it.
Chief General Manager SEBI, Mr. N. Hariharan, while highlighting the role of his organization in overall economic development, said it is important for investors to contribute to the growth of a nation.
When we talk about investment, we are talking about something where you are allowing your money to grow, which will beat the inflation. So essentially, can we convert some portion of savings that we do into some potential investment, which not only enables us to grow economically, but also contributes to the growth of the nation, contributes to the growth of the economy. There are so many companies in this country who have good thoughts, they are good entrepreneurs, but they don't have money to invest. The capital market provides an opportunity for those who need money for investment in their company, for developing their industry, and those who have this little bit of the spareable money, that the excess of whatever their savings, who can invest in their companies. So in a way, the capital market tries to bridge those who are called the issuers of capital and those who are the investors in this capital. So the capital market provides a platform for the meeting of these two.
Executive President J&K Bank Mr. Abdul Rauf Butt highlighted initiatives taken by the bank with regard to investor education and awareness through e-learning module.
We have our two training colleges, one at Jammu and one at Srinagar. We can, if a small module can be given for the bankers, we can include that in our regular general banking modules. We are going to start for our staff e-learning module very soon. If a small module can be included in this, because bankers are the people where small investors are frequently interacting for one reason or the other. And if a banker is educated, I think most of the problems are solved, because he can in turn inculcate such things in his customer. In case we want that the market needs to have a liquidity and the depth, it is through small investor only that's possible. The bigger investor cannot help us in that. But this small investor is the person who is susceptible and exposed to all these risks. We have to do something seriously to help this small investor in protecting his interests.
Dean Academic Affairs Professor Muhammad Ashraf Wani in his speech said that the need of the hour is to invest in capital market in order to tackle the problem of unemployment.
The refrain of my private and public interaction that we are sitting on a social volcano. The unemployment is growing enormously day by day. There is no private sector. Employment opportunities are have become extinct. The traditional resources have shrunk. We are absolutely a dependent economy, and our investment behavior is also retrograde. There is a need for innovative measures how to tackle this problem, and our people, specialists in the field, they have to put their heads together. Besides the state, that how to come out of this rut. One of the ready-made means to solve this problem is to invest in the capital market.
On the occasion, National Stock Exchange also finalized a memorandum of understanding with Kashmir University to develop curriculum and training programs. Placement Officer Mr. Muhammad Ayub Shah conducted proceedings of the function, while Assistant Professor Dr. Farzana Gulzar proposed a vote of thanks. The English department organized a 2-day All India seminar on revisiting literary classics in the postmodern secular world. Head English Department Professor Hamida Naeem in her welcome address said that the seminar aimed to interrogate the current understanding of the culture of classics.
Papers have been were invited that sought to interrogate the current understanding fostered in the name of decanonization, ideological and other approaches to criticism that downplay the original context, reception and significance of the cultures of classics that has dominated the world till recently. It also proposes to explore related issues like Renaissance in folklore studies and the thematic and formal connections between folklore and classics. It would also examine marginalized brand of literary criticism that still builds on the classical understanding of literary texts.
Professor Sridhar Rajeshwaran, Director, Center for Advanced Studies in India, presented a keynote address on the literary forms of epic and tragedy.
Epic and tragedy as a dictum have to be noble intentioned in their choice of theme, and in this to stress the thematic links between these two forms would be to state the obvious. The protagonist, the central figure, is a hero stellar, able of shouldering responsibility, bearing the burden of the task, the loftiness of the pursuit of the exalted and the sublime. And if the play, the literary composition, is enacted as drama, rendered as an actual performance, like all drama is meant to be, then an accountable actor who plays the role in accordance to the play's characterization, which for his turn is plot dependent, all of which in their togetherness, with the help of other extraterritorial supplements like light, sound, setting, music, props, and dramatic features and techniques and tools attempt to recreate life as an imitation to crystalline perfection.
In his presidential address, Professor Ghulam Rasool Malik deliberated upon various dimensions of the classical literature.
A classic is a work which captures the timeless in time, which captures the universal in particular. There's no escape from time. We are all time-bound, and we cannot receive anything by leaping out of time. As Eliot remarked in 4 quartets, you have to conquer time through and in the time. We are space-bound. We cannot receive the universal except in the particular. So a great literary classic is one which tries to capture and successfully captures the timeless in time, the universal in the particular.
Noted Kashmiri poet Professor Rahman Rahi recited a Kashmiri poem from his collections.
Yat balas pet kuli ganras maz ich jana varan bolun hut soi zir the bam soi saz lahar soi gangli ros shabnem bhulya yos buzit is lokcharas maz yat jai bit kot wasai.
Assistant Professor Dr. Mufti Muddassir conducted proceedings of the inaugural session. With this, we come to the end of our today's program. In case you have missed some part of Quest, log on to our website emmrckashmir.com to watch it. Send us your suggestions at our email address quest@emmrckashmir.com. Before I take your leave, here are a few words of wisdom. Opinions in politics and religion are almost always held passionately.